So here we are then, the Monte Carlo 5. No pressure, it's a hotly anticipated boat. It's a boat that people have been waiting to see in the flesh for a long time, and I've just been out driving it for an hour or so. And the first thing that hits you is that everything you've seen in the pictures looks so much better in the flesh. It's a good looking boat, that's quite clear, but when you see it up close and you see the details and that brilliant hull, a colour which I haven't really seen before on anything else, and it works so well, and all the little details like the beautiful stainless steel portholes from Italy and that big round port, it all just comes together perfectly. And it's a boat that looks like nothing else and just feels very special to be on board. It very much feels like a Monte Carlo. It's obviously built by Group Beneteau, but Beneteau make it very clear that this is a Monte Carlo yacht, and it's going to be part of a big range including an MC4 and an MC6 that is going to make up the Monte Carlo yachts range. And pretty much everything on this boat has come down as opposed to coming up from Beneteau. So the materials are from Monte Carlo yachts, the leather, the door handles, the woodwork, the special matte soft paint that they use to make the surfaces feel soft touch. It feels a real premium product, a boat that can take on Azimut and Ferretti and Princess and all the people that they've got in their eye line. As for performance, it's a boat that Monte Carlo yachts say is for cruising. It's not for top end speed. It has got IPS, it's got IPS 600, the one we tested, and it was hitting around 28 knots. But what Monte Carlo yacht says, this is a boat to cruise at 22 to 25, even 20 knots, and at that speed it's very quiet. The interesting hull shape isn't just interesting looking, it actually has an effect. It's very soft riding, very, very dry. If you look at the hull shape, there's a prominent spray rail, and it's really doing its job, deflecting spray. Well, we stayed in a reasonable chop. We stayed dry the entire time, not a lick of spray came on deck. And it's just very, very comfortable to be at the helm of, whether you're upstairs or down below where I am now. What else? Well, the helm stations. The lower helm is pretty much spot on for somebody of my size. The bench doesn't move, so you have to hope that it fits you, but for me it does. Throttle falls to hand, as does the wheel. The view out is fantastic through the one-piece windscreen. The helm is classy and clear and easy to use. There's not much I'd change really. Upstairs it's slightly different. The view is still very good. The look of the helm is very nice. It's very simple, but the ergonomics aren't quite there. The throttle's a bit of a stretch. You have to lean forward. And it's a little bit breezy as well because the windscreen doesn't quite deflect the breeze over the skipper's head. That aside, two very nice places to drive from, and there isn't much I'd change on either of them, to be honest. As for the cabins, they're very, very good. You've got three cabins on board, full beam master and midships, which gets the lovely retro round portholes either side, the big ones, and then a VIP cabin forward, which is en suite, and then a really useful third bunk cabin. Actually, you happily have friends in there, not just children. There's plenty of room, and they've got their own TV, they've got their own stereo, air conditioning. It's a very nice cabin. But the star of the show has got to be the master, which is very light, plenty of headroom. There's a little bit of encroachment over the bed, but nothing too bad. It's not a completely flat floor. There is a divot in the floor, but it does feel like a living space. It's not just a cabin, and the bathroom is as well as good as you'd expect as well, with plenty of light and a nice separate shower cubicle. The Flybridge is fantastic as well, and when you think that this boat is competing with the Princess 52 and the Fairline Squadron 50, both of which are very well designed, the Flybridge is something that's really got to impress, and thankfully it does. It's not a particularly complicated layout. You've got seating aft, you've got the helm station forward, and then to port of that you have a sunbathing area. But it just works really, really well, and the important thing is there like plenty of space for people to eat. There's a really good wet bar up there, and a really nice idea is a huge chest fridge, which you could store champagne and beer and ice cream for a week, and it would stay in. There's plenty of room in there, and it's just a great place to use. And the high backs on the seating make you feel very safe. You feel like you're in the Flybridge as opposed to on it, and it's very well designed and a very nice place to spend time. Any downsides? Well, it could probably be a bit faster. There are boats in the class that will break the 30 knot barrier pretty easily. And if you're somebody who wants to cruise over 30 knots, then this probably isn't going to be the boat for you, because we've got the highest spec engine in here, and it wasn't even hitting 30. Personally, I think the way this boat works, you're not going to worry about that. You will just cruise more slowly, but if you want more speed, you're probably not going to like it. Other than that, there's not much more to be said. It cruises beautifully. The interior is cosseting and nicely made, high quality, 3 good cabins, and it genuinely looks like nothing else on the water. And it's a range that's expanding, and the MC4 and the MC6 both look very interesting prospects. So there you go, the Monte Carlo 5. Leave the hype.